press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Now we are commencing part 3 of the chapter oscillation. In previous class we have discussed important terms which we are going to use often in the study of oscillation, that is period, frequency, amplitude, angular velocity, relation between angular velocity and time period, omega is equal to 2 pi by t, and relation between angular velocity and frequency, omega is equal to 2 pi f. Now at the same time we have also discussed, right, harmonic motion, a motion which is periodic and bounded is called harmonic motion. Oscillations and vibrations are called harmonic motions because they can be expressed in terms of, right, harmonic trigonometric functions such as sine function and cos function. Therefore, here onwards we call oscillation and vibration as harmonic motions, right. Now we will take another concept, simple harmonic motion, abbreviated as SHM, right. Now a simple type of harmonic motion is known as a simple harmonic motion. A very simple type of harmonic motion without any much complications is called simple harmonic motion. Of course, it is known as simple harmonic motion. Now, a motion is said to be a simple harmonic motion. It has to satisfy certain condition. The motion must be a periodic motion, number one. Number two, the motion must be to and fro about the mean position. And number three, magnitude of acceleration, I mean linear acceleration, the time rate of change of linear velocity should be directly proportional to displacement from the mean position. And fourth one, the direction of acceleration is always towards the mean position. When a motion satisfies these four conditions, then it is called a simple harmonic motion, right. In other words, the periodic to and fro motion of a particle about its mean position, in which magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to magnitude of displacement of the particle from the mean position, and acceleration is always directed towards the mean position, is called a simple harmonic motion, right. Now let us write it on the board, right. Observe it clearly. A periodic to and fro motion of a particle about its mean position in which magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement of the particle from mean position, and acceleration is always directed towards the mean position is called a simple harmonic motion. This is the definition of simple harmonic motion. Right. So here we have the terms important are periodic to and fro motion of a particle about its mean position, in which, right, magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement of the particle from the mean position, and acceleration is always directed towards the mean position. Right? See, number one, periodic; number two, to and fro motion; number three, acceleration is directly proportional to displacement, and acceleration is always directed towards the mean position. Right? So when a motion satisfies these conditions, it is said to be a simple harmonic motion. Let us explain this simple harmonic motion. Now, let us consider a particle at the mean position O when time t is equal to 0. Now, let the particle, right, is allowed to execute to and fro motion about the mean position, such that the particle, right, executes to and fro motion or oscillates between two extreme points M and N. Right? Here, this position has maximum displacement from mean position, that is amplitude. Right? This is minus A, because when we take the mean position at the origin, then ON is in positive side of the Cartesian coordinate system, that is along positive x. OM is in a negative side. Therefore, since the displacement towards ON, right, is opposite side to OM. One is taken as positive and the other one is taken as negative. Therefore, in a to and fro motion, both displacement and amplitude are positive, right, towards right of the origin, and they are negative towards left of the origin, right. Now suppose if P is position of the particle at any instant of time during its oscillation, let y be the displacement, right. Now to understand this one, let us consider a simple pendulum, right, with mean position O and two extreme positions N and M, right. Now you might have seen that oscillations of a simple pendulum, even in a wall clock. Observe here, when we displace it 10 centimeter, it is pulled 10 centimeter apart from the mean position and let it go. It began to oscillate in such a way that the both extreme positions are at 10 centimeter from the mean position. It moves from N to O to M, right, executing a simple harmonic motion between two extreme points M and N about the mean position O. Suppose if it has a time period T is equal to 4 seconds. Let us take it as time period, right. Now the time period of a simple pendulum depends only two factors. One, length of the simple pendulum, that is the length of the string, the distance from the point of suspension to the center of gravity of the bob, right, and acceleration due to gravity at a place. Since acceleration due to gravity at a place is constant, right, now the time period entirely depends upon only the length, right. Now if length changes, then only period changes. For a given length, there is a given time period, say it is 4 seconds. Now to move from O to N, it takes a time T is equal to T by 4, that is equal to 1 second. That's right. Now the amplitude is 10 centimeter, right. So in 1 second, it moves from 0 to O to N. In same 1 second, it moves from N to O, right. Suppose if I pull it to 20 centimeter distance from the mean position, right. Now again, it has a displacement, maximum displacement of 20 centimeter on either side. Now the amplitude is 20 centimeter. You see, is there any change in period? No. The period remains the same because the length of the string or pendulum is same. Frequency and time period remain same. They do not change. Only what is changing here is, as per our discussion, is the amplitude at this stage. Now we see that when amplitude is 20 centimeter, again it takes the same amount, T is equal to T by 2 is equal to 1 second to cover 20 centimeter. Earlier it has taken 1 second to complete 10 centimeter. Now it has again taken the same 1 second to travel a distance of 20 centimeter. Generally, to travel a larger distance in the same interval of time, according to mechanics, right, we have to increase the speed, right, or we have to increase the velocity, right? So now when we take, in this case, when it comes to the mean position, it has maximum velocity, say v1. In this stage also, it has maximum velocity v2. Obviously, v2 is greater than v1 because the bob has to cover the same larger distance in the same interval of time. Obviously, v2 is greater than v1. I am talking, even in this case, velocity is not constant. It is changing with time, right? Therefore, I have taken this maximum velocity at the mean position. Now velocity is increased. Now if I pull it 30 centimeter, again the time interval is same. In 1 second, the bob covers a distance of 30 centimeter. That means that V3 is greater than V1. Now how to increase the velocity? By accelerating, right? Therefore, this simple harmonic motion, right? This pendulum is a simple pendulum, is called simple pendulum because it executes simple harmonic motion. So the simple harmonic motion is an accelerated motion. It is an accelerated motion. It is not a uniform motion, right? Here acceleration is not equal to 0. Right? That means this bob possesses an acceleration. To increase the speed, we have to increase the acceleration, right? So here when I take A1, A2 and at 30 centimeter A3, A3 is greater than A2, A2 is greater than A1. That means as we go on increasing the acceleration, right, the magnitude of acceleration also increases, right? That means between O and N also, right, the magnitude of acceleration varies. The magnitude of acceleration is maximum at extreme position and minimum at zero position. Here acceleration is maximum, here acceleration is minimum. Why here acceleration is maximum? Because displacement is maximum. Why acceleration is minimum 0 here? Because displacement is minimum and 0. So at any position, say y, now this is the y, then at that stage acceleration is directly proportional to displacement. That means when we observe the motion of a simple pendulum, keeping at different amplitudes, right, we say that the time period is same. That means to say the acceleration increases with increasing amplitude. That means maximum displacement, right? Now even between the two extreme positions, say M and N, here acceleration is a maximum, right? Here acceleration is equal to 0, here acceleration is maximum and of course in the opposite direction. So from N to A, displacement decreases, acceleration decreases. From A to N, displacement increases, acceleration increases. That means here, right, the magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement from the mean position. That means here A is the acceleration of the particle, right, at time t. When displacement is y, then A is directly proportional to y. Now this is clear. It is a periodic motion. It is a to and fro motion. It is a right, acceleration is directly proportional to displacement. Now here, when we take the direction of acceleration, it is clear, I think, right? As we go on increasing the displacement, right, acceleration increases, right? As displacement decreases, acceleration decreases. Now, see here, when the particle is moving towards n, right? When the particle is moving towards n, right, of course, the acceleration increases with increasing displacement and it becomes maximum at this position, and again decreases while moving from A to n. Now, what is retardation? If a particle is moving, right, along positive x-axis, say, it covers a displacement s in time t, then its velocity is equal to s by t. If it is, right, accelerated motion a, right, now if a and v are in the same direction, displacement, right, acceleration are in the same direction, then, right, here, now velocity increases, right. Suppose if, that means when we raise acceleration of our bike or scooter, speed mean velocity gradually increases. Speed is a scalar, velocity is a vector quantity, you know that fact. So here velocity increases, we say that it is acceleration and it is positive. Suppose if, right, acceleration is in opposite direction of velocity, the velocity decreases here, right. So, right, when velocity and acceleration are in the same direction, velocity increases. When acceleration and velocity are in the opposite direction, velocity decreases, and we say that it is deceleration or retardation, having the negative sign, right. Now, suppose here, while moving from O to n, right, now the acceleration, right, increases, right, O n acceleration increases, but velocity decreases. Here acceleration is maximum and velocity is equal to 0. Why velocity is 0? Because it comes to rest momentarily at n. For a very short interval of time it comes to rest. Then it starts retracing its path, right. Now that means since velocity is decreasing, right, acceleration is, right, in the opposite direction of motion. I am taking direction of motion. Now while moving from n to O, right, velocity increases and it becomes maximum. When does velocity increases? When acceleration is in the direction of motion, right, this acceleration, right, increases. Again see here, in both the cases, while moving from O to N or N to O, the direction of acceleration is always towards the mean position, right? That it is along MO direction. Therefore, while moving to ON, velocity decreases and becomes 0, and while moving from N to O, velocity starts from 0 and becomes maximum. In both these cases, right, the direction of acceleration is always towards the mean point. Here also, right, velocity is equal to 0, acceleration is maximum. That means here also the direction of, right, particle in direction of acceleration is always towards the mean position, right? That means acceleration we can write directly proportional to minus y. Here the negative sign indicates that the direction of acceleration is always towards the mean position. And one thing I would like to tell you, now whenever we are taking the direction of displacement, see it here, whatever may be, right, the direction of motion of the particle, the direction of displacement is always away from the mean position, right? The direction of displacement, because displacement is a vector quantity, is always, right, away from mean position, and acceleration is always towards the mean position. That means A and Y, right, are in opposite direction as I taken direction wise, right, and A is equal to some constant minus k into y. This expression gives the acceleration of a simple pendulum, right, where k is proportionality constant and negative sign, right, indicates that acceleration is always directed towards the mean position, right. Students, in order to understand physics, a concept in physics clearly, we have to feel the every aspect of it, right, every moment, what is happening, right, what is happening at O, what is happening at N, what is happening between O and N, and again what is happening at M, right, what is happening right, between O and M. We see here displacement y is changing with time, velocity is changing with time, that velocity is equal to dy by dt, the time rate of change of displacement. Acceleration is equal to the time rate of change of velocity, or it is d square s by dt square, right, d square y by dt square, right. So all are changing, but what remains constant, right? Right here frequency remain constant, period remain constant, and while set into oscillation, when it is set into oscillation, right, amplitude remains the same. When you pull it apart 10 centimeter and left it, the amplitude remains constant, that is 10 centimeter. For the same simple pendulum, if you pull it at 15 centimeter and left it, now the amplitude will be different. Now for that oscillation, right, amplitude is 15 centimeter, but the frequency remains the same, right. Now, so it is clear that a motion, right, which is periodic, a motion which is to and fro motion about the mean position, a motion in which magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement from the mean position, a motion, right, whose acceleration is always directed towards mean position. If all these conditions are satisfied, then we call that motion as simple harmonic motion. Now, the oscillation of a simple pendulum is simple harmonic motion. The oscillation of a loaded spring is a simple harmonic motion. Vibration of a tuning fork is a simple harmonic motion. Vibration of strings of an instrument is a simple harmonic motion. When we are speaking, now the sound waves are produced and air particles vibrate. Their air particles also executing simple harmonic motion. Right? Is that clear? Right. Right. Now, characteristics of simple harmonic motions, right? Those conditions what we have discussed, so that a motion is satisfying can be called as simple harmonic motion or called characteristics of simple harmonic motion. Number one, it is a periodic motion. Remember that all periodic motions are not harmonic, but all harmonic motions are periodic. Therefore, simple harmonic motion is also a periodic. Second one, it is to and fro motion about the mean position. Third one, magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement from the mean position. Fourth one, direction of acceleration is always towards the mean position. So these four are the characteristics of a simple harmonic motion. A motion is said to be simple harmonic motion if they satisfy the four conditions. What I have told, simple motion of a simple pendulum, oscillation of loaded spring, vibration of tuning fork, vibration of stretched string, all of them satisfy the four conditions and therefore they are all simple harmonic motions. Now here onwards, the same oscillational motion, vibrational motion are called harmonic motions, and now we discuss here only simple harmonic motion, that is oscillation of a simple pendulum, oscillation of a loaded spring. Next we go to the waves where we consider vibration of a tuning fork, vibration of a stretched string, etc. Now, let us take a very, very important concept, that is how to understand and analyze a simple harmonic motion. That means here in simple harmonic motion we need to find frequency, period, amplitude. Most important thing, what is the displacement of the particle at any instant of time. We know that at mean position y is equal to 0, at extreme position y is equal to a, plus or minus a, that is equal to amplitude. In between, right, that motion, right, during at all instants of motion, the displacement is changing with respect to time. So here we need to find an equation, right, where we can find what is the displacement of a particle at any instant of time. For example, in a linear motion, we have this equation, S is equal to ut plus half at square. That gives displacement of a particle at any instant of time t in terms of initial velocity and acceleration. We have v square is equal to u square plus 2as, right. Now this gives the displacement of a particle s, right, when its velocity is v, right, or velocity of a particle v when displacement is s, and we are also having v is equal to u plus at. These are all the three basic equations of linear motion, and they are called equations of motion. Using that, by knowing initial velocity and acceleration, we can find final velocity, right, displacement at any instant of time, right. Is that clear? In a similar way, we need to obtain an expression for displacement to find the value of displacement at any instant of time. Now that is simple harmonic motion in terms of uniform circular motion. Listen carefully and try to understand what I am discussing here, because only when you can understand this, how to express simple harmonic motion with the help of a uniform circular motion, then only we can able to understand how to obtain that equation, right, and apply that equation for simple harmonic motion, right. Now, a motion of a particle along a circular path is called a circular motion. Now, the motion of a particle along a circular path with constant speed or uniform speed is called uniform circular motion, right. In uniform motion, a particle is moving along a circular path of constant radius without changing the speed. The speed remains the same. Such a circular motion is called uniform circular motion. Now, let us consider a particle moving along a circular path with center O. Now it is moving in anti-clockwise direction with a constant angular velocity omega, that velocity is equal to 2 pi by t, right, is equal to 2 pi f, where capital T is a time period and f is frequency. Now, we say during the class this is physics period, chemistry period, English period, etc. If you are sitting in a physics class, it has a duration, say 1 hour or 60 minutes, right? So the duration of or period of that class, right, is 1 hour. Therefore, it is called as a physics period, chemistry period, like that. So the period of the class is 60 minutes, but during that 60 minutes we have different instance of time, that is 5 minutes he is telling a definition, right? After 10 minutes, right, he is giving an explanation. In the 20th minute he is deriving the things, right? At 25th minute he is giving example, and 25th 30 minutes they are discussing the properties, and there he is discussing the problems, everything. And that during that period it happens, right? Definition, explanation, derivation, right? Examples, properties, right? Solving numerical things, everything. Now the thing is that there are, what happened after 5 minutes, what happened after 10 minutes, what happened after, right, 30 minutes, etc. is there, but all those things happen within that period, right? 0 to 60 minutes. That 60 minute is represented by capital T, right? Here the time taken to complete one to and fro motion or one circular motion, and between 0 to t, right, every instant is represented by small t. Suppose we say if t is equal to 4 seconds, now we need to find what happens at t is equal to 0.1 second, what happens at t is equal to 0.2 second, right? That is t1, t2. Say this is a displacement y1, here displacement y2, here velocity v1, here velocity v2, here acceleration is a1, here acceleration is a2. So at every instant of time between 0 and capital T, we need to find displacement, acceleration, velocity, and next, right, kinetic energy, potential energy, total energy, right? The study of simple harmonic motion involves all these things, finding displacement, velocity, acceleration, right, kinetic energy, potential energy, total energy in terms of time period or frequency, right? Now let omega be the angular velocity, t be the time period, time taken to complete one circular motion, one circular path, f is number of circular paths completed in 1 second, right? Now at any instant of time, let b be the position of the particle. I have taken particle p, but b is not representing the particle, b is actually representing the position of the particle, that is at p. Let write a be radius, right, of the circular path. Now we see here, when particle is at b, I will write the diameter. So y o y dash, it is the diameter. YO, Y dash be the diameter of the circle. Even I can also taken as right, this is position, this is Y, this is Y dash. I will take this position C, right, position D, position E, right. So C is representing Y, E is representing Y dash, YO, Y dash is one diameter. This diameter also be drawn along DOB. DOB is also right one of the diameters, right. Now for our simplicity, we will take YO, Y dash or COE, right, it is a diameter. Listen it carefully. Now this point O, right, so here we will call this OB as projection of particle P at position B on the diameter YO, Y dash or COD. That line OB is called projection of particle P at position B on the diameter. So here the point O is called foot of the perpendicular to position of particle at B. Right. Now the position B, right, has a projection O on the diameter. OB is the projection and O is called foot of the perpendicular because this OB is perpendicular to YO, Y dash. Therefore, it is called foot of the perpendicular. Is that clear? This is when time t is equal to 0, right? Now, let the particle, right, moves to a position P in a time t. P is instantaneous position of the particle moving along circular path at any instant of time t. Now here this is the position of the particle with respect to O, right. Now, can we call this OP as projection on diameter? No, right. OP is not representing the projection of the particle because see here, OB is projection of particle P at position B on the diameter YO. This OB is perpendicular to YO, Y dash. The condition is that projection is always projection is taken on the diameter and projection should always be perpendicular to the diameter. But this OP is not the projection of the position of the particle at P on the diameter, right. Now, if I write Q, right. Now, this QP is projection of particle at P or at time t, and q is foot of the perpendicular at p, foot of the perpendicular at p. Say the particle moves to position p1 at any instant of time t1. Right. Now, this q dash, right, is the foot of the perpendicular, position of the foot of the perpendicular on that diameter. If the particle at t2 at time t3 is equal to t by 4, where t is period. Now both p1 mean p2 and this is q1 we can take. P2 and Q2 will coincide. The same point is the foot of the perpendicular. The length of the projection becomes 0 at this point. Now, say when the particle is at position P3 at certain instant of time T3, right? Now, the foot of the perpendicular is say q3. See here. Now, when the particle comes to the position p4, now DO is the foot of the perpendicular. You see it here. Now, it is the maximum, right, length of the projection when particle at B time t is equal to 0, as the particle moves along the circular path, but the foot of the perpendicular, it moves from O to C when the particle moves from B to C here, and from B to C the length of the projection goes on decreases. At C it becomes 0. Right. Now, when it moves from C to D, again the length of the projection goes on increases, right, and becomes maximum, right, at right this point, right, length of the projection becomes maximum. Again, it is moving to the position P4. Foot of the perpendicular is Q4. Again, when it comes to the position P5, see here, length of the projection becomes 0. Now, the foot of the perpendicular reaches the point E. Now, when it moves to position P6, now this is Q6. When the particle comes to B, now again the foot of the perpendicular comes to O, right? Now we have to understand, right, here in this figure there are two types of motion. One is uniform circular motion of the particle and the other one is a simple harmonic motion or to and fro motion of, right, foot of the perpendicular to the particle executing uniform circular motion. See it here. Clear? Now, so when particle at B, Now it is at O. At P, it is Q. At P1, it is at Q1. At P2, it is at C, right? Now at P3, Q3. Now it is at P4, that is D. Now this is, take P5, P6, P7, this is Q4, Q7, right? Now when a particle is at position P5, the foot of the perpendicular is at Q5. When the particle at position P6, then we have E. The foot of the perpendicular reaches to the position E. When particle is at P7, right? Now this is foot of the perpendicular at Q7. Now when the particle is again at B, the foot of the perpendicular is O. See, from B to B, right, represents, this is a uniform circular motion moving from B, P, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, B. It is representing uniform circular motion. Now, the foot of the perpendicular. If I take, this is the foot of the perpendicular, I will put it here, right? Can you able to see it? Or I will take the tip of this pen. At B, this is the position, right? And at P, this is the position. At P1, this is the position. At P2, this is the position, right? Now, the particle it moves from O to C in a time period T by 4. Again, right, P2 to Q3, and this is C to Q3, Q3 to O. It's upward and downward. Now, when the particle is at D, this is taken T by 2. When the particle is moving P4 to P6, now the foot is moving from O to Q5, then to E. This is E. Now this is 3 T by 4, that is the time taken. Now when it is moving from P6, that is from E to P7 and finally to B, right, it reaches to O. Now the time taken. Here time taken to reach C is T by 4, time taken to reach right to O, not from C to O, the entire, from the time T is equal to 0, right. Here the time taken to reach, right, the point E is T is equal to 3 by 2, now the T is equal to T. So in the entire uniform circular motion of particle, in one circular motion, the foot of the perpendicular, right, executes simple harmony. Again, let us imagine that. Now it starts moving continuously along this one. Now this point moves to C, C to O, O to E, E to O. Again O to C, C to O, O to E, E to O. That means the foot of perpendicular, right, execute simple harmonic motion along y dash or COE. Right. Now the foot of the perpendicular is executing simple harmonic motion. Now the time period of to and fro motion is same as the time period of circular motion. The frequency of simple harmonic motion is same as the frequency of circular motion. Therefore, when the particle completes one circular motion, the foot of the perpendicular completes one oscillation or one, right, simple harmonic motion, right. So this is simple harmonic motion, right. Particle, this represents various position of the particle on the circle. These points represents various positions of foot of the perpendicular along the diameter y dash, right. This can be taken as this is y according to figure, this is y dash, right. So by studying circular motion, we can study simple harmonic motion. One thing say here, the time period of simple harmonic motion of foot of the perpendicular is same as the time period of, right, the particle in circular motion. Frequency is also, right, same. Now see here, OQ is displacement y1, OQ1 is displacement y2, OC is displacement y3, right. Again y4, y5, y6, y7, y8, y9, right. That means here when the particle is at P, right, the foot of the perpendicular, right, reaches O. So at time T, now this is can be taken as y. OQ is equal to y is the displacement at time T. At the same time, it also has the simple harmonic motion has right the angular displacement theta, right. So here, right, we can find the displacement of simple harmonic motion, linear displacement, as well as angular displacement with frequency and time period, right. Therefore, right, it is easier to understand simple harmonic motion, right, in terms of the uniform circular motion. Is that clear? Now, we take another concept, equation of simple harmonic motion. It is a very simple derivation, just like graphically we have derived S is equal to ut plus half at, one of the equations of motion. Right now here, right, so a simple harmonic motion can be easily understood in terms of to and fro motion of projection of a particle in uniform circular motion on any diameter of the circle, right. So, a simple harmonic motion can be easily understood in terms of to and fro motion of projection of a particle in uniform circular motion, right, on any diameter of the circle. Now again, let us consider a particle P moving along a circular path of constant radius A with the constant angular velocity omega in anticlockwise direction, right. That O is the center of the circular path. So, B is the position at any instant of time t is equal to 0, and y o y dash is the diameter. Now, we know that when the particle, now the radius is A and the particle is moving with the constant angular velocity omega, that omega is equal to 2 pi by t or it is equal to 2 pi f, where f is frequency, t is time period, right. Now, we know that as the particle moves along the circular path, the foot of the perpendicular executes to and fro motion, right, about the position O or center of the circle along the diameter, right. That means circular motion can be analyzed, or simple harmonic motion can be analyzed in terms of circular motion. Now, let P be position of the particle at any instant of time t, right. Now, this OB is the radius vector at B, OP is the radius vector at P, such that OB is equal to OP is equal to A. Now, when the particle moves from B to P, right, now the radius vector describes, right, an angle theta. Here theta is called angular displacement, right. Here angular displacement is theta, right. But as we have omega is equal to theta by t, that implies theta is equal to omega into t, right. So, this angular displacement is equal to omega into t. Now, if we draw the projection of the particle at P, that is QP. So, QP is projection of the particle at P on the diameter YO Y dash, right. Here, when the particle moves from B to P, the foot of the perpendicular, right, moves from, right, O to Q, executing a linear displacement OQ. Therefore, at time t, linear displacement, right, y is equal to OQ. Y is equal to OQ, right. Now, from geometry, this angle is theta. Now, we have from triangle OPQ, sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse side. That opposite side is OQ, hypotenuse is OP. But OP is equal to A, equal to radius of the circular path, and OQ is equal to Y. Therefore, right, this is sin, right, theta is equal to, right, Y by A, where A is radius, or Y is equal to A sin theta. But what is theta? Theta is equal to omega t. Y is equal to A sin omega t, right. This equation gives the displacement of a particle executing simple harmonic motion at any instant of time, and this is called equation of a simple harmonic motion or displacement equation, right. In translational motion, S is equal to ut plus half at square gives displacement of a particle moving along a straight line, right, at any instant of time t. Here u is initial velocity and a is acceleration. Here this equation gives the displacement y of a particle executing simple harmonic motion at any instant of time. Here a is amplitude, which is constant for simple harmonic motion, and omega is angular velocity, which is also, right, the constant for a given, right, simple harmonic motion. So, with the help of uniform circular motion of a particle, we can able to derive an expression for displacement of a particle executing simple harmonic motion at any instant of time t. So, this is the displacement equation of a particle moving along a straight line with constant acceleration. Here y is the displacement equation that gives displacement y of a particle executing simple harmonic motion at any instant of time t. Right? Is that clear? Now, that's all about the derivation of the equation. Now, take note. Now, this equation 1 can also be written as y is equal to a sin 2 pi by t, because we know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t into t, right, where t is a period of simple harmonic motion, right. Now this can also be written as y is equal to a sin 2 pi f, because we know that omega is equal to 2 pi f, where f is frequency of simple harmonic motion, right. So the basic equation is y is equal to a sin omega t in terms of angular velocity. In terms of period, the same equation takes the form y is equal to a sin 2 pi by t into small t. In terms of frequency, the equation takes the form y is equal to a sin 2 pi into f, where the value of pi is in radian 3.14, right. Generally we take it as in radian, or if we take in terms of degree in solving some numerical problem, the value becomes 180 degree, right. Is that clear? Now another thing is here. Suppose if the projection is taken along, right, the diameter x o x dash. Here we have taken the projection on the diameter y o y dash. Suppose if we take the projection of the particle at time t on horizontal diameter x o x dash, then the pq dash represents the projection of the particle at time t, and q dash is the foot of the perpendicular, right. Now as particle moves from b to a, right, the foot of the perpendicular moves from, right, o to q dash, where oq dash is taken to be x. Now here x is equal to oq dash, and here this op is equal to a, that is the radius of the circle is the maximum displacement that the foot of the perpendicular have. So this is oy or oy dash is the maximum displacement along y direction. Ox or ox dash, right, are the maximum displacement along horizontal direction. Now, right, from triangle, right, OB, OP, what is cos theta? We have cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, OQ dash by OP, right, or cos theta is equal to x by a, where a is the maximum displacement on either side of the mean position. Here it is equal to radius of the circular path, or we get x is equal to a cos, right, theta, or x is equal to a cos omega t. This is also a equation of simple harmonic motion. X is equal to a cos omega t. Only the thing is, in the previous case, the projection is taken along vertical diameter, and now the projection is taken along horizontal diameter. Both of them represents displacement x at any instant of time t. This can also be written as y is equal to a cos 2 pi by t into t, or this can also be written as x is equal to, right, a cos 2 pi f t, sorry. In that particular case, how written, that is y is equal to a sin 2 pi f t. Y is equal to a sin 2 pi by t into t. Y is equal to a sin omega t. To make the correction, right? Yes, simple mistake was there. I have not written t there. Actually, it is t is there, right? Now, a cos 2 pi by t. Now, see here, this to and fro motion or oscillation of the foot of the perpendicular, right, can also be expressed in terms of a sine function and a cos function, right. Both sine function and cos function have right, a one extreme value plus 1, another extreme value minus 1. We cannot have plus 1.5 plus 1.6 sin theta value or cos theta value, right, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, etc. And it can have 0. Now, this is maximum displacement, y is equal to plus a, y is equal to 0, and y is equal to minus a. So, y can take the values between plus a and minus a, right. Therefore, from this sin theta and cos theta are periodic and bounded. From this simple harmonic motion or oscillation is periodic and bounded. Therefore, oscillation and vibration are called harmonic motion. A harmonic motion which satisfy those four conditions we have described: periodic, to and fro, magnitude is directly proportional to magnitude of acceleration is directly proportional to displacement, acceleration is directed towards mean position, then that harmonic motion is called as a simple harmonic motion, right. Okay, we will stop at this stage and continue in the next class. The one important thing is, again, you watch this video once again and try to understand that particular concept, how we can able to analyze oscillation or simple harmonic motion in terms of uniform circular motion, right.